A fish can stand still in the water, burning a calorie a minute. It puts out hormones in the water in order to understand what's going on around it. Be thankful they're hungry. That means they're healthy.
Well, hello. Come right on in. You're at Father Fish.
I get people saying to me all the time, I just bought this fish and it won't eat. Well, of course not. It's not going to eat until it is absolutely comfortable and confident about where it is. The first thing a fish will do when you put it in a tank is change its body pattern. It's going to lose all of its color or it'll flash a fright pattern. It'll do that in order to disguise itself, and it'll look then for a corner to hide in, a place where it can go where it is not likely to be eaten by the predator, where it can scope out what's going on in the tank. That is the very first thing the fish does. It does that. It scopes out its environment. It adjusts its body to the water conditions, including temperature, pH, everything else. It puts out hormones in the water in order to understand what's going on around it. It tastes the water to determine what's in the water with it. It does all of these things and so much more before it even begins to look for food. The last thing the fish will do is look for food. After all of its other needs are satisfied, which typically is 2 to 3 days minimum. It can be up to a week or more. Now, in a natural tank that is full of plants, lots of cover, where it can move one place to another and still be under cover, still be protected, that process is sped up much more quickly in a matter of hours. Fish are born hungry. That does not mean that they eat until they are satiated. In the wild, they never do. You will never find a fish in the wild so full of food it can't swim, unless it's a big predator that's eating a monster meal. But a fish that's picking at little food, its belly will never extend to the point where it becomes fat from eating. It doesn't happen. Fish are naturally hungry. They deliberately stay hungry in order to be attentive, in order not to be sluggish, in order to be able to move quickly. Food is needed and necessary, but only in the right proportions. Think about this. A little fish, when you see it poking around on the bottom, what's it doing? It is eating micro and macrofauna. How tiny is macrofauna?
It's really tiny, microscopic.
It's tiny enough it's microscopic. It's exactly right. If it eats 100 microscopic animals, that would be a lot of poking around. How big a piece of food is that? If you put a comparable piece of food, it would be a very small, one single grain of food. One is sufficient for an entire day for a small fish. That's all it needs. So when I say you're overfeeding your fish, if you're putting 2 grains of food in per fish, you're overfeeding the fish. If your fish is not hungry, it is sick and it's going to die. Be thankful they're hungry. That means they're healthy. If you have a natural environment of the type I've been teaching for years, that environment has all of the food that the fish needs living and growing in it. It's already there. Fish are not mammals. They don't operate with the same set of biological behavior, patterns, principles, requirements that mammals do. For one thing, they're cold-blooded. which means their metabolism adjusts to the point where they are burning virtually no calories. A fish can stand still in the water by balancing the air in its bladder and remain stationary, flicking a fin occasionally, burning a calorie a minute, 60 calories in an hour. And I dare say it can get lower than that. When a fish is in that state, it's only looking to eat to survive. Now, in the spring, when the weather is warming up, hormones are triggered in the fish that cause them to eat more heavily because there is a lot more food available. There are spring hatches of all kinds of insects. They eat more heavily. That builds egg in the females and sperm in the males, which increases the hormonal activity, leading them to spawn. Once they do, and they go through that spawning process and caring for the young, if they care for the young, or spawning time after time over a period of a month or 2 months, then the temperature changes, the water conditions change, those hormones go back into stasis, and they return to a more stable, natural kind of behavior, where they only eat to survive. They don't eat to get healthy. They're already healthy. They eat to stay healthy, and they eat only what is required. They remain hungry. They have a different metabolism. It's not like animals. It's not like dogs and cats. It's not like people. Even turtles are cold-blooded. Snakes and reptiles are cold-blooded. They do not require food every day. Feeding them every day causes them to die sooner because their metabolism is burning up their body, processing all of that food. Don't feel guilty about not feeding your fish.